So why do most founders fail? Now, Ben Horowitz is the guy who built a $46 billion venture capital empire. And he says it comes down to one brutal truth. They hesitate when they should act. So here's a man who took his company public with just $2 million in revenue, got called insane by Wall Street Journal, and still built one of the most successful companies in tech history. But here's what nobody's talking about. That insane decision saved his company from bankruptcy. So today we're diving into counterintuitive lessons from the co-founder of A16Z, or Andreessen Horowitz, about how running toward your biggest fears is the only way to build something that matters. So are you running toward the hard decisions or avoiding them? Because the choice will determine absolutely everything. Let's dive into this today. Now, I almost didn't make this video because, look, Starter Pack is very successful. We're running a great company. I love it. I love what I do. I love working with the clients that I get to, getting to build the awesome tech that I get to. But, at the end of the day, we're not rolling in billions of dollars here, right? So it's hard for me to get up and preach from a soapbox here. But I really like what Ben Horowitz is saying here, and I love talking about business stuff. And so I wanted to dive into this topic today. So I hope you'll bear with me here. Now, Ben Horowitz didn't sugarcoat anything when he said that the worst thing that any leader can do is hesitate. So see, there you go. I hesitated, right? So I'm guilty of this because I've had this video sitting in my queue for at least a month. And I was too worried that people would be like, look at that Spencer guy. What is he talking about? He's got a head doesn't have billions of dollars. But what everyone else teaches you about management theory, he's teaching you the psychological muscle you need to make decisions when both options stink. So let's break down why most founders fail and what you can do differently. Now, before we get started, leave me a comment below. Tell me about a time that you had to make a decision where both options were really bad. So this is my favorite thing when you leave a comment, and honestly, it's the best compliment you can give me. Now, the secret is there is no secret. Consistency over intensity, progress over perfection, fundamentals over fads, over and over again. This is something Hormozy teaches, and I love it. And the crazy thing is, you are about one consistent year away from a totally different life. You just have to keep going. So I want to share with you this post that I really liked here. So it says, if someone watched you for a week, would they believe that you're serious about your goals? Would they see discipline, effort, and consistency, or would they see distraction, procrastination, wasted time? You don't have to tell people what you want. How you spend your days already does. Now, look, folks, I get up every morning for you guys and grind on this here because this is one of the things that I love to do. I love to connect with you guys, and I love to rep Startup Pack. I'm not lying here. I think you guys know that I'm here repping Startup Pack, but I love to bring you guys some value in the channel. So Ben Horowitz calls hesitation, quote, the worst thing that you can do as a leader because it paralyzes your entire organization. So when founders face two horrible decisions, they often choose neither, which is always the worst possible choice. So hesitation happens when both decisions seem catastrophic. So leaders avoid making any decisions at all. While you're hesitating, your team loses confidence, competitors gain ground, and opportunities disappear forever. The psychological pattern is predictable. Founders convince themselves that they need more data when they really need more courage. Every day you delay a hard decision, you're making a choice. You're choosing the status quo, which is usually dying slowly. Because just like a muscle, if you're not using it, you're losing it, right? So Horowitz learned from a pilot that plane crashes aren't one big mistake. They're a series of small bad decisions that compound. The same pattern applies to startup success. It's not one brilliant moment, but hundreds of difficult choices. Steve Jobs taught that most overnight successes took at least a decade. Each individual decision might seem insignificant, but when stacked together, they create extraordinary outcomes. So founders often look for the magic bullet solution when success actually comes from doing hard things consistently, and consistently is the key. So after 25 years doing software development, I've seen this pattern everywhere. Small improvements compound into massive competitive advantages. One of the things I preach here at Starter Pack is better, not perfect. Because if you wait for perfect, you're never going to ship something. So with code, we get it out, we learn from it, and we iterate. This is the true method of lean methodology and true agile, not stupid Scrum. The companies that win make slightly better decisions repeatedly, while losers wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Let's take an example here. Google's been working on DeepMind for 14 years. They've been working on AI since before AI was cool or hip or a fad. right? They've been investing in this for a long time. They've been building their own silicon on TPUs instead of GPUs. Now, OpenAI came through and smashed to the market very quickly and gained a large user base, but they are spending themselves into oblivion, and their models show it, and they're losing quickly. Now, great leaders run toward problems while weak leaders run away from them. This psychological muscle separates winners from losers. When you see a problem in your organization, your first instinct should be to attack it immediately, not hope it goes away. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be a jerk, but it means you need to address things straight on and lay out your expectation. Fear is actually a signaling point fear is actually a signal pointing you towards the most important work you need to do as a leader. Horowitz took his company public with only $2 million in revenue because the alternative was bankruptcy. That's running towards fear. The problems you avoid don't disappear. They grow bigger and more expensive to fix later. Every successful founder I know has stories about making decisions that terrified them but saved the company. Now, one of the biggest mistakes new CEOs make is trying to develop weak performers instead of finding world-class talent. So I've found that if you know somebody, if you start to think, should I fire this person? The chance is you need to remove them from your organization. Horowitz learned that if you're spending time teaching your CFO how to do finance, you hired the wrong CFO. In my case, I don't even have a CFO. I just do my finances myself, or I have an accountant. I don't do all my finances myself. Your job as a leader is to find people who make you better, not people you have to constantly manage and improve. Now, again, I like finding rough talent because we work with a lot of registered apprentices here where we take junior folks, we teach them how to develop, and some of these are amazing developers who are part of our teams. So when you have to push people to perform, you're not getting leverage, you're being a micromanager. Now, the best executives tell you what needs to happen, not the other way around. So after building teams for decades, I can tell you that A players attract A players while B players hire C players to manage the teams for them so they don't have to. Now, there's a confidence death spiral here. Most founders fail because they lose confidence after making expensive mistakes, which leads them to hesitation on future decisions. It can cause kind of a PTSD in business. When founders start second-guessing themselves, senior team members sense the weakness and begin competing for power. This creates political dysfunction where everyone's fighting for control instead of focusing on customers and product. Again, if you were focusing on your customers and your product, you probably wouldn't have been dealing with the political dysfunction. Hesitation spreads through the organization like a virus, making everyone less decisive and more paralyzed. So Horowitz emphasizes that maintaining confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about making decisions quickly and learning from mistakes. The companies that survive are led by founders who can take a punch, learn from it, and make hard decisions. One of my favorite quotes is kind of a random one, but it's from Mike Tyson. I don't quote Mike Tyson on a lot of stuff, and it's not about biting ears. He says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You've got to get punched in the mouth a few times in business, learn how it feels, and then go. My son was playing football this year, and he was trying to move into running back, and he mostly played defense, and he wanted to play some positions where he carried the ball. And I told him, look, you're going to have to get hit 100 times in a game, not practice, in a game before you're going to really know how to learn to spin, how to move, how to juke. And he didn't quite believe me at first. And then by the end of the season, he started learning more and more about how to take those hits. It's a real thing, and in business that happens too. Now, when Horowitz took LoudCloud public with just $2 million in trailing revenue, everyone called him crazy, including Wall Street Journal. The decision looked insane from the outside, but the alternative was certain bankruptcy in the private market. Now, Business Week literally called it the IPO from hell, but that public offering saved the company and eventually led to $1.6 billion exit. So that's the perfect example that shows you how you can't make decisions based on what look good. You have to make decisions based on what works. Sometimes the right choice is the one that makes you look dumb in the short term, but saves your company in the long term. Horowitz knew the negative press would come, but he made the decision anyways because survival trumps reputation. Now, real leadership happens when you make decisions that most people don't like. If everyone agrees, they wouldn't need you. The only value you add as a leader is making the hard call that others won't or can't make. Now, consensus decisions are easy decisions. That means you probably don't matter much in your competitive position. Let me say this a different way. If you're just delegating a lot of the hard decisions down to your teams because you're too scared to make them or thinking that you'll just rule by democracy, it's not a great way to run a business. The pressure to be liked will destroy your effectiveness as a leader faster than anything else. Great leaders focus on being respected in the long term rather than being liked in the short term. Now, you also want to manage debt compounds like interest. When you avoid firing a bad performer, you create a management debt that compounds and damages your entire organization. Bad managers don't just hurt their own teams, they damage the reputation of the entire department. So other employees lose respect for your judgment when you keep obviously ineffective people in important roles. The cascading effects means good people start leaving because they don't want to work in a dysfunctional environment. So just like technical debt, management debt gets exponentially more expensive to fix the longer you wait. So I've seen companies get destroyed by founders who couldn't make the hard personnel decisions they knew they needed to make. Now, Horowitz learned from a pilot that most disasters aren't single catastrophic events. They're a chain of small events of bad decisions. The JFK Jr. plane crash wasn't one mistake, but 17 consecutive bad choices that each seemed reasonably individually. Now, startup failures follow the same type of pattern. Founders make a series of slight wrong decisions that compound into disaster. Each decision makes the next decision harder because you're operating from a weaker position. The key insight is recognizing when you're in a negative spiral and having the courage to break the pattern. Success requires breaking these negative chains by making one difficult but correct decision that changes your trajectory. So here at Startup Hack, we started a team of software developers doing a particular thing. We were going at it, and it was very clear after the third month that I knew that we were not heading toward profit. So the part of me looked at the money that I'd spent on this team, and then the other part of me said, I need to just let this go and cut losses right now. It was a psychologically hard decision because I really wanted this team to be successful, and maybe eventually I could have. But at the moment, I didn't have enough to continue to drive this toward the profitability we need to, so I had to make those hard decisions. So the psychological muscle required for leadership is being able to look into the abyss and choose the slightly better terrible options. Most people aren't built for this kind of decision making because humans naturally avoid choices that guarantee short-term pain. CEOs must develop the ability to act decisively even when they can calculate all the bad things that could happen. Now, one of the other secrets that I'm going to tell you is most of those terrible bad things that you think could happen aren't really going to happen. Now, Horowitz's experience shows that sustained effort in one direction for 12 months can completely transform your situation. What most people don't understand is you're one good, solid, consistent year away from changing the rest of your life. Most people give up on the hard decision after a day, a month, or a few weeks, or a month. But you've got to be able to break through something for at least a year. The psychological challenge isn't making one hard decision. It's continuing to make hard decisions when you don't see immediate results. Look, guys, I get up early and I stay up late to make these videos for you guys so that I have them here for the channel because this pushes me to push myself past my limits. And that's part of the reason I love it. And the other reason is because I love to read your guys' comments. So make sure you leave a comment down below. Now, companies that succeed are built by founders who can maintain intensity and focus for extended periods without external validation. The magic happens when you stack 365 days of difficult but correct choices. That's when compound growth becomes visible. If you can develop the habit of running towards problems for 1 year, you'll build the leadership muscles that create lasting success. So line up the hardest decisions you have to make over the next year and start today and start making them. Now, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love to have a great discussion. So make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell me your guys' thoughts. I love to read them. Here at Startup Hack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out if we can help. Check out startuphack.com and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced process processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer.